Hi guys, good night and welcome back to Yanni Birdable's channel. I am here tonight to tell you of some woes that I'm having concerning schools, and I know a lot of other parents are having the same problem. Um, I don't know what it is, but it's really difficult. The process, that is, to get your child into a school. I am not sure if it is so many youths are having kids and the population of children that age is so wide, so much that it's causing a problem. And yes, there, I know a lot of us want to get into the good schools, so again it's causing a problem. So I'm just here to share some stuff that has been going on, things that I observed and so forth. So if you want to see more or know more information, just stick around and watch the video. Thank you. All right. Now the school that I really want my son to go to, I had to apply him since October last year. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, I teach Alta in that school. And my brothers went there, and I happened to see one of the teachers that I know, and I asked her, Miss Auntie, when is registration? She was like, when it was, go talk to the principal. I had to get a letter, a lot of running to get him into get the application form done, because it was already the third week in October when I found out, and registration was the first week in October, and it only takes 60 children, right? So I did what I had to do, right? But I'm in the process still. I can't just register him for one school. I have to register him for many schools, because we have no guarantee at the end of the day, right? So far I have applied him for 3 schools. I registered him for one school in particular on, let us say, the Thursday, and that same Thursday another school in Arima Boys RC, was giving out forms. By the time my sister-in-law got to Arima, all the forms were finished. I didn't fuss too much because I didn't really want him to go Arima, so I didn't fuss, right? Then the Friday now, my girlfriend called me and said, Nicole, they're giving out forms for Arima Boys Government School. So I was like, but I can't make it, because I already took 2 days off this week. Seen about school. She said, don't worry, I'll see if I get a form for you. She did get the form for me, right? But after going through the form, I didn't bother to apply for the school, because I think I'm stressed, mentally stressed and physically stressed, because there's a lot of questions on these application forms, and I'm going to show you, right? The first one, is 2 parts. They go together, and I'm not going to read out all of this, but I'm just going to go through this here. Basically what the school is saying is that the child must be able to use or hold a pair of scissors correctly. That's 1. 2, tie shoelaces. 3, can use the toilet facilities independently. Counting numbers 1 to 10 in sequences. Know the alphabet letters and sounds. Know basic shapes and colors. Identify name and print. Identify and say nursery rhymes. Now, when I saw this, I was like, Yannick would not be accepted. Why I said that? Because yes, Yannick could use a scissors, however, his fine motor skills are not totally defined, meaning that he cannot, what they do in his preschool, they cut out and create their own craft and so forth, and go around curls and that kind of thing. Yannick is still making jagged edges, because his fine motor skills are not totally defined as yet, and he's 4, he's going to be 5 next month. He cannot tie his shoelaces. He has his best friend Josie, it's a girl. She ties his shoelaces for him every day after nap time. He can't tie it. I mean, however, he could count to 111. So I have a problem with these rules, because a child may be good at one thing and not good at the other, and another child will be good what Yannick is not good at and not good at something else. So I mean, putting pressure on children like this, I find is too much. Also, look at it this way. I and a lot of other parents, by God's grace, are able to send our child to a preschool. What about a parent who cannot afford to send their child to a preschool? What? I mean, when I was going to school, Nicole, yes, I went preschool, but to me, as far as I can remember, I started learning to write my name and doing reading and stuff in infants. Now I'm being told that um infants one is now the infants two. So you need to come ready. But I'm a bit confused. Tim Gopi Singh needs to clarify some stuff for me because clearly there's a gap. Because he is saying that in ECC schools, children should not be reading and writing, right? That they should be discovering and learning through play and so forth. Yet, in the government primary schools, you are telling me my child needs to be ready. I'm confused. There's a gap. There is a big gap, and I'm not sure that everybody is seeing that there is a problem there. They are conflicting, right? I am totally confused, right? Because he said ECC schools, and if you go on the website, they are not to be doing reading and writing, strictly. They could do it indirectly, which is what Yannick's school does, because his school is all about discovery, and they have what do you call it? I forget. But basically, you could go to the science center, take out about, you could learn about animals, you could learn, they have these little slide, plastic things like blue and red. So you have it independently, and when you put it together, you realize, hey, red and blue, when I put it, when it overlaps, it makes purple. So it's a center-based learning school, and I don't know, I just confused about the whole educational system. And I really need you guys who are teachers or lecturers or whatever to shed some light and to make my life a little easy to understand. And to be honest, guys, I am thinking seriously of going back to school next year to do my degree in education. Just to understand, it forcing me to do a degree in education. Honestly. Yeah, I'm thinking about it seriously, because I'm totally confused. Anyway, I'm going to continue with the application form, the whole motto thing and whatever, and what you need to bring in and so forth. I tell you guys, when I saw this form, I told the father, listen, you have to fill out this one this time, because when I just looked at the form, I got an instant headache. I did. It's a lot. I mean, I know when a child attends a school, the school wants to know what the parents can do to uplift the school, to improve school, and I understand all that. But leave it for when my child is accepted and I have joined the PTA meeting, but I have to, if I don't choose my words correctly or grammar, it's like my fault that my son won't get into the school based on my wording, right? Why do you wish your son to come to the school? Do you have any reservations about the ways things are done in this school? I don't know. I have never had anybody go into the school. I don't attend the school. How can I answer that? What vision do you have for this school? Really? I and other parents will put the same thing. For dedicated teachers to bring our children in a holistic way. I mean, we're going to have the same thing. We are going to have the same words. Some people, I mean, the form is so designed as well. If you're illiterate, you have to get somebody else to fill out the form. If they don't understand the question, they too will fill it out. I mean, I just find it's a lot. Nicole, find it's a lot. Right? The other school that I applied for, in the East as well, they wanted to know what are the father's special skills and what are the mother's special skills, and what qualifications we have and what position jobs that we hold. But what I was told, they milk you. That particular school always want donations, and what basically how your child is accepted is based on your job and how your job could benefit the school, what you could give them. So yeah, so a little frustrated. Monday is another school that I'm going to apply him for if I feel to, because right now I've only applied him for 3 schools. But out of the 3 days, only one that I really, really, really want him to go to. And that school in particular, he had assessment on Friday. And that's why I did the video and I said I had to take my son to the mall. And that's because he had assessment. Now, the letter I got, right, said we have to bring the child from 8:30 and pick them up promptly at 11:30. Well, I got there for 7:30, right? I don't know. I was a bit nervous the night before. I didn't go in my bed till 2 o'clock Friday morning. I was jittery. I was really stressed. I felt like I was going through sea with him, honestly, because I don't know what they're gonna ask him. I don't know what if he's gonna answer properly. Because at the end of the day, I know they have their degree in education, and I respect that. But my field of study also looks at the psychological side of the child. You know, sometimes in our assessment, a child may not interact well because it's a new environment. It's new children, new faces, and they might shut down, they might clamp up. Miss may have on a particular color clothes. Let us say Miss have on brown, right? And that is what I was afraid of. And yeah, because Yannick went for injection. I don't know if I mentioned that in a video before, and I mean the head nurse had on brown, and he really get on erratic for his 2 shots. And you know, children like him who had probably gone the day before to get their shots, because you have to have all your shots to get in to apply for the school. You must have all the shots or close to, right? The last 2 shots is from 4.5. But anywho, I mean, a child may have a bad experience, and the person may have on a particular color, and that teacher may have on that color that day, and it just brings back that memory to the child, and that child will shut down, and the child is being judged on that day. And I am saying, you know, I may have a different look on it because of my line of study, right? Because I deal with the psychological and that kind of thing of a child. You know, even as adults, every day is not happy good morning. We have our days, and a child sometimes their emotions the day, and that's why Friday morning Yannick was getting on really grimy, and I didn't do anything much to upset him. I just talked him through 'cause I didn't want him like too upset because he didn't understand this new school, and you know, you have to listen, and why I can't go back to my baby school, mommy, and why I have to go to this big school. So I mean, it's a lot. Anyway, yes, I'm going to talk about the assessment, and then I'm going to talk about observations. So I got there at 7:30. We were ushered to the library upstairs, the air-conditioned library, and we waited until 8:30, 8:45 for names to be called and so forth. And my child name wasn't called. I was getting a little itchy, so we were ushered downstairs to listen, because they would list for whatever teacher to get into the classes. His teacher came late. She was the last teacher, and well, he got her class, and I was a bit afraid because she had on all brown, and the nurse that gave him the shot obviously wore brown. So I was afraid that the memory of the injection would have come back and Yannick would have shut down. I was really afraid, right? Anyway, he was ushered. I carried him to the class, and my son went like a big boy, and he sat down on a bench by himself and whatever. But where his classroom was, I was outside, I could have seen, and I saw him having to color a picture of SpongeBob, and I was like, Lord Jesus, let him remember to stay in the lines, you know. But at the end of the day, every day is not Monday, so you know, right? I'm nervous. But before the principal left, she was on the speaker and she was saying, please listen to your child, because they will be coming back to give you a message. So I'm looking at him coloring, then I'm talking to one of the parents that I know, and then I saw him by Miss Des. I don't know if he was to read. I was like, oh Lord, if you will forget words. It was a lot for me, guys. It was a lot. And then I saw him come out and I was like, Mommy, Mr. to send $5 and to come, please. No, He said, Miss say to give me $5, please. I look in my purse, I pray and I have $5 because sometimes you just don't have the change. So I give him the $5. He went by Miss, then he came back and he was like, Miss said to come. So I did go. And she spoke, she said, he's free to go, and she asked him for a high five and he almost broke her hand. I laughed it off and whatever. So when we were outside, I was like, yeah, Nick, what happened? You know, what you do, what you had to do, whatever. And he was like, Mommy, Miss spelled my name wrong on my SpongeBob paper. She put Yahnnick, and that's not my name, Mommy. That's not my name. It's Yahnnick. I said yes. He said, Mommy, I had to spell my name. He had to identify shapes, and he had to count from 1 to 30. I find the 1 to 30 was a tad bit too much. I mean, it's little children. But he did it. And then he brought back the message. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he gets accepted to the school. Because that is the school that I really want him to go to. Okay, so observations now. Now, as I said, I was in the air-conditioned library. And I couldn't believe the dress code of some parents. I understand some people cannot afford. I understand all of that, you know. I totally do. But I do believe you could get a t-shirt or a polo and a jeans. I don't mind if you come in and they say rubber ding ding, but I don't mind if you come in a Old Navy slipper or Payless slipper or even a rubber ding ding for $8. I don't care, right? But I think you must dress properly, be covered. A lot of people came in tin strap, sleeveless, and lace back. And I'm like, yes, I know Carnival just finished, but you know what? You want this child to come to this school. And believe it or not, you are being judged. That's how I see it, right? And I couldn't believe people were in 3/4 tin strap. I was truly amazed, guys. I was truly taken aback, right? Who still had colored weave, I mean vibrant color weaves in their hair, braids, and I'm like, guys, it's better than wear a head tie. No, really, right? The other observation I had was a teacher. Now, I am not a teacher, and somebody here watching my video I know is a teacher, and I want you to let me know if I know public servants, if you are Baptist and Muslim and that kind of thing, you are free to cover your head at the workplace. I know that there's no rule, but I want to know if there's a rule for teachers, because one of the teachers for infants still had her multicolored weave to one side. Her hair cut short and the weave on the side rather long. She had pink, blue, yellow, pink, blue, yellow, and red in her hair, right? And I'm saying, yes, I understand free expression of self, and not because I'm in the, you know, I'm still Miss Nights, and I want to enjoy myself for the season. But then when a child comes to school with weave, those colors, then you can't tell the child anything because, but Miss does do it. Yes, I understand Miss as an adult, but Miss is she expressing herself, but I'm expressing my artistic side as well. Now, no child of mine going to school with it, but I'm just saying, right? I don't know. I don't approve of that. That's me, Nicole. I think as a teacher, as an educational person, they have to set the example to me. I'm not saying I'm against race, and I'm not saying that, but I'm dealing with the multicolored weave, right? Right? Another thing I observe is a child. He could be in standard 4, standard 5, and if I was the principal of that school, he would have been sent home. My boy has a mohawk, and the mohawk is bleached out, and the rest here is black. And I'm saying, and it is perfectly done. His mohawk, it is perfectly done to the shape of a mohawk. Perfect lining, perfect. This is not a child whose mother was bleaching her hair and he picked up the comb and passed it through his hair. No. This was purposely done. Right? And I'm saying, as a parent, how could you send your child to school like that? Even if you did it for the carnival season, it is now the Friday after Carnival Tuesday. Buy a bottle of black dye, or carry him to the barber to get his hair cut. That's what I'm saying. But then if the teacher has it, who am I, the student, who looking up at my role model? I'm just saying. Right? But if I was the principal, he would have gone home, or his teacher, his mother would have been called in that something needs to be done. I mean, we are the parents. When do we cut off what is acceptable for our children to do and not to do? And too many times we tend to spread to, how to put it, be too much of a friend to our child for them to love us and accept us and to be good to us, right? But you have to know when is the cutoff point, because my son cannot go to school. He can't put bleach in his hair at that age, even if it was for fun, but was cutting it off the next day. He wasn't going. In case the barber ain't open, he would have stayed home. And if you push me a little too much, I'd get a comb and a razor and I would have shaved him myself. Yannick Joseph not going to be going to school looking like that. I'm telling you that we need to keep these standards. Because we are getting older and they are going to run the country. And all hell fall down, because it will have no ethics, no dress ethics in the workplace, and we need to curb it. We need to let our children know what is acceptable and not acceptable. I know we have freedom of expression, and especially if you're artistic, and I respect all of that, but there's a time and place for everything. That's Nicole. That's my point of view, right? I know I'm going to get some comments here, but please keep it clean. It's just about exchanging information and, everybody having a standard, and I understand that. But as parents, we need to know, sit our children down, know you're not going to do that. And it's something that I've been seeing a lot of young boys' ears being pierced and going to school. No, that's unacceptable. And I don't blame the child, I blame the parent, because you can't allow, even if he went and pierced it, when he came home you saw it, you need to take out the earring. And if he buys another earring, you need to take out that as well. No, you have to let your children be children. Don't let them rush in being adults. And that's just my take on observations and so forth. But you all please pray for me, for my son to get into the school that I want him to go into. So with all that being said, guys, be safe and all the best, and stay tuned for another video. Take care. Bye-bye. Guys, I just added this piece into the video because I forgot to mention something with these schools as well, just to get an application form. I have heard that for Rosary boys or girls, I can't remember, St. Rose's girls, I know it's in Port of Spain, and for Newtown girls, people were at the school since 3 o'clock in the morning lining up for forms. I mean, and if you think that bad, for Yannick's assessment, I met a lady. We didn't exchange names, but she was telling me, because she lives Derby, and her biggest daughter attended Arima Girls Government, and she really wants her little daughter to attend there as well. And she said that she got to the school at 5 a.m. and there were no forms. She didn't get any because people camped out the night before. They slept at the school to get a form. Now guys, I find it really, really ridiculous that one has to go through this emotional stress to get a child into a school. And I don't want to say it's with the government schools, because if you're paying your money, the most you might get is we don't have no space, or right? So Yeah, I find this is a bit too much. I mean, I know it's the top schools that are given these problems, but come on, man. I don't think someone has to spend the night before at a school to get a form. I find that really ridiculous. As well, I blame the school to a particular extent because the guard who is normally has the forms shouldn't be giving out forms until 7 o'clock. So I don't understand why the lady reached at 7. Well, I guess she reached at 5. Sorry, she reached at 5 and she got no form. I find it really annoying. I don't know who else viewing my video is having these stresses. I mean, because I know people are having these stresses because I'm on this page on Facebook called Trini Moms. Real good page. I mean, information. If you want to find out about swimming classes, if you want to know, because I didn't know El Socorro had a nature place that you could take your children, like a Asa, right? They have one in San Juan, El Socorro, sorry. And there's this place in, what's it may call it? Oh gosh, what's the name of the place, boy? San Mateo. Anyway, they have a nature place because some lady said she went there with her family for them to spend there for the carnival season. Is it not Las Lomas? Oh gosh. It's right on the tip of my tongue and I can't say. Anyway, visit Trini Moms on Facebook and anything you want to know, it is there. When school registration, that kind of thing. But for those who looking for schools for 2014, my advice to you is to go up on the Ministry of Education website and you will see all the schools and the telephone contact. So you can call beforehand to find out when they registering, when they're giving out application forms and call. I mean, even though because Arima Boys RC said they were giving it out on Ash Wednesday and lo and behold they gave it out the first week in February. So, I mean, you need to be visiting the school to read the board. I'll have a friend to keep you updated. But, guys, I really find it stressful. Really, really, really stressful. And we need to put our feet down and make a stand. I mean, a few of us may be able to sacrifice to pay for our children to go to school, but some people can't and they need to get their child in a school. And then the other annoying thing is if you have, okay, let us say I have a daughter going to school and I want Yannick to attend school, be it both sex school, both sex school, he's not guaranteed to get in, which I find a little disturbing as well because at the end of the day nobody's thinking about the stresses I as a parent going through. Because if my daughter is at Aruka government and they don't take Yannick in there and I have to go to Arima and he gets accepted to a school in Arima, how, so they're telling you that up front. Don't, not because you have even though they ask you on the form, if you have a sibling coming here. But they say it's no guarantee because a sibling is coming here that the other sibling will be allowed to come. I mean, that's really hard. That is hard for anybody, especially if you're working in Port of Spain. So, you live in Aruca, you say, okay, I'm going to put your job your child to Aruca first, and then you go back, continue going to Port of Spain. But when you have to drop one Arima, and then there's rail transport because it's the two children and yourself, drop the one the furthest point first, you come down, you drop in Aruca, and then you head to town. Come on, guys. I mean, people have to utilize the bus because school children are free, but it's still an expense and time and frustration and, physical stress and physical tiredness, So I'm just expressing my woes that I and other parents are experiencing. I just choose to express it to you all. So if anybody can help me, will be nice, or put closure to some questions and yeah. So that's why I'm putting it out here. Alright, guys. So thanks again for viewing. As I said, I did this after from what I remember to add it in. Alright. So be safe. Bye.